Hi, this is Rachel from Orange Brackets. Welcome to today's tutorial. It's Monday morning at Helios Partners, and our CEO needs a crisp one-page brief. Our job is to turn a stack of weekly reports into clear, actionable bullets. No fluff, no misses. We'll load the reports and the CEO's preferences, spot where risks and decisions cluster, and then use a small LangChain prompt to draft a tight, on-brand brief. By the end, you'll have a repeatable pattern you can run every morning. Let's get started. First, let's load the weekly reports and take a quick look. We want the essentials at a glance: which department sent the update, what the core message is, who owns it, when it's due, and whether there's a risk or a decision needed. These fields are our signals. They tell us what the CEO should see right away and what can wait. To work with the data, let's bring in Pandas and give it the short nickname PD. This will let us load, clean, and explore our table. Now we'll set the file path to our sample weekly reports CSV. Keeping it in a variable called weekly path makes it easy to reuse or swap later. Time to load the data. We'll read that CSV at weekly path into a data frame and store it as weekly data frame, so we have a neat table to work with. Let's do a quick peek with head, just the first few rows. This is a fast check that the file loaded correctly and a quick look at the columns we have. Don't worry if the column names look busy at first. We'll use only what matters. Great, we can already see the columns we need. Here's how they map to the brief. Risks and decisions feed the top sections, so nothing critical gets buried. Owner and deadline give accountability and timing. Priority helps us rank items, so the hottest issues go first. This is how we keep the brief action ready. Next, let's point to our CEO Brief Preferences CSV in the Datasets folder. We'll stash that path in a variable so it's easy to reuse or swap later. Now we'll load that CSV with Pandas and turn it into a table we can work with. Using the saved path keeps our code clean and portable. Quick check. We'll preview the first few rows to confirm the file loaded and the columns look as expected. If anything looks off, this is where we'd catch it. The CEO has clear expectations for format. Top 5 risks, key wins, decisions needed, and follow-ups. We'll use these preferences to shape the output. That way, every brief looks the same, reads fast, and focuses on what the CEO cares about. Before we generate anything, let's scan the data. Where are the risk hotspots? Which teams need decisions? This quick sanity check helps us confirm the story. If operations is spiking on risk, we'll make sure those bullets sit right at the top. To make that scan visual, we'll bring in Matplotlib's plotting tools. We'll draw a simple chart in a moment. From the weekly data frame, we'll pull the rows where the risk flag says yes. That gives us the risky items to analyze. Then we'll carve out the rows that require a decision. Same idea, filtered down to the yes cases. Now we'll build a compact summary table. For each department, count how many risks and how many decisions show up. If a department appears on one list but not the other, we'll fill that with zeros and convert the counts to integers for clean labels. Time to visualize. We'll plot those counts as a bar chart, one group per department, with a comfortable figure size. We'll keep the axes handle in case we want to adjust styling. Let's add a clear title so the chart tells its story at a glance: Risks and Decisions by Department. We'll tighten the layout so the bars, labels, and title don't bump into each other. And show the figure. Let's see the comparison on screen. Nice! This chart shows where risks and decisions cluster by department. In simple terms, it points to where the CEO should look first. We'll use this to order the brief, emphasize the right areas, and keep the page focused on impact. With the data scanned, let's set up a lightweight LangChain pipeline. Think of LangChain as the glue between our tables and the model. We'll load our environment settings, create a small, fast chat model, and get ready to prompt it with exactly what the CEO wants. Keep it minimal, keep it reliable. Let's pull in 3 essentials: a helper to read our .env file, the chat OpenAI client from LangChain so we can talk to OpenAI, and prompt template to shape our prompts in a clean, reusable way. That gives us our environment, our model interface, and our prompt structure. Now we'll load the .env file. This grabs our secrets, like the API key, from the local .env and exposes them as environment variables. No hard-coded keys. Next, let's spin up the model client and store it in a variable called LLM. we'll use GPT-4o Mini with a temperature of 0.2 to keep responses crisp and consistent. This is the object we'll call to generate answers. Time to craft the prompt. We'll ask for the one-page brief with the exact sections the CEO expects. Short, factual bullets, clear owners, clear deadlines. The tighter the instructions, the cleaner and more consistent the output. We'll start by defining a prompt template. This first line sets the goal, a tight one-page CEO brief. Next, we outline exactly what to include. The top 5 risks with owners and deadlines, key wins, and the decisions that need a clear owner. We also call out follow-ups with owners and dates, and we nudge the model to keep it crisp, factual, and in short bullets. Now we add a fact section header. This is where the raw context we pass in will live. Here's a placeholder for those facts, so we can inject real data at runtime without changing the template. Then a preferences header. This lets us steer tone and style to match what the exec wants. And a second placeholder for those preferences. With that, our template text is complete and ready to reuse. We'll wrap the template in a prompt template, explicitly declaring the 2 inputs, facts and prefs, so it's clear and safe to use. Finally, we connect the prompt to the LLM with a simple pipe. That gives us a chain. Feed in facts and preferences, get back a polished CEO brief. Now we'll format the weekly facts into clean bullet lines, compress the CEO preferences, and call the chain. This simulates turning hundreds of pages into a single, scannable page. Watch how the model sticks to the structure, keeps it short, and pulls through owners and dates. Let's create a tiny helper called Format Row. It takes a single record and turns it into a tidy bullet. Department, a short excerpt, and in parentheses the owner, deadline, priority, risk flag, and whether a decision is needed. 1 clean line per update. Now we'll turn the weekly table into a list of records, run each one through our formatter, and join the results with line breaks. That gives us a neatly stacked block of bullets called facts. Next up, preferences. We'll condense each preference row into section, include, description, then stitch them together with semicolons so it reads like a compact guideline string. With facts and prefs ready, we'll feed them into our chain as inputs. This call asks the model to generate an answer using those details. Finally, we'll print the model's message so we can read the generated result right in the console. If something looks off, we'll adjust the data or the prompt and run it again. That's normal. And that's it. We've got a focused, executive-ready brief that highlights top risks, key wins, decisions the CEO must make, and follow-ups with owners and dates. This saves time, reduces back and forth, and lowers the chance of missing important issues. As a next step, you can schedule this to run daily, add guardrails like character limits per section, and push the output to email or Slack. Awesome work. See you in the next one.